All right? And they're going to deliver the message that you bring and let people know what it is you do. So, turn this over to you if you're ready.
Ready. Yes, I am. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize for yesterday. I really had no voice, but today it sounds a little bit better. I am Sharon. I am the expungement person coordinator for Cannabis Equity Illinois Coalition. And what we do, we help people manage their records. Hold on a second. We teach people to know your rights and assist in. Hold on, my computer's acting up. Give me a second here. The coalition is a grassroots organization, first of all. We're the ones who.
I muted you, Sharon. I'm sorry. I was doing too much. I asked you to unmute. Yeah, can you unmute?
And Mark, I don't mind helping you if you make me a co-host. I'll help.
Let me make something right. I don't think I am no more for some reason. Something happened to my power. Hold on, Sharon. Don't go nowhere.
Lisa, I'm just old, but I ain't old and confused.
I'm trying to see how to get her to unmute. Did I mute her forever? Let me see. Okay, I know what I'm getting ready to do. I'm finna get to Vera, because I'm gonna get out the way. There you go. You the host now. Okay.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Okay.
I hope she ain't still talking. You can't do it either.
Okay, so Sharon, I just asked you to unmute. If you still talking, Sharon, you're gonna have to hit the left mute button and unmute yourself. You got access to unmute yourself.
Okay, I did.
Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the spotlight on you, so yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, no problem. I was just trying to say who the coalition was. The coalition is 501c nonprofit grassroots organization. Came in existence in 2018. The coalition was first organized during town hall meetings on the south side of Chicago. The town hall meetings inspired a group of people like myself organizing for cannabis equity and justice, which turned into weekly meetings and growing to where we are right now. This computer, come on. Okay, there we go. And what my main concern is to instruct and to help people learn. My learning objective is to know your rights, to teach people to know their rights, identify the ways that the legal cannabis impacts the rights of Illinois residents, identify steps you can take to protect your rights, locate where you can find resources to protect your rights as well. And like I said earlier, we help people with expungements because there's so many of our people that's tied up in the system for little amounts of cannabis as well as large amounts. And we try to help them get their records expunged and get back on track. We expunge juvenile records as well as adult records. In Illinois, before we get into the presentation, just want to remind of the context of the war on drugs, framing from why know your rights is so important. Even the major policy changes like decriminalization, disparities in Illinois still exist. So, seems pretty. I have this little chart thing. This chart thing to show how much of the criminalization that the Black people is at a high rate, and including in Cook County. The Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act is the law that was passed in the summer of 2019 by Governor Pritzker. The act regulates the cannabis for people, adults 21 years and older. In addition to legalization, possession, and for the use of adults, it is also, it was supposed to be automatic expungements, homegrown for medical patients, and other benefits to the community that was the hardest hit by the war on drugs. Now that we have some context of the current situation, we also have cannabis legalization bill, which is, okay, hold on. There's a possession limit that a lot of people was 21 and over must have have a valid ID to purchase recreational cannabis at an approved licensed dispensary as of January 1st, 2020. For Illinois residents, it's 30 grams of flour, 500 milligrams of THC infused products, and 5 grams of cannabis concentrate. Now, just let me point something out. Even if you have a combination of the two, if you are 1 gram over what you are allowed, that causes you to get back into trouble. If you're a non-resident, you only can purchase in the state of Illinois half of what the Illinois residents can buy. Chicago municipalities have violation codes that goes like this. Penalties. Your first offense is like $50. And if you get another offense within the 30-day period, that's $100. If you're under the age of 21, they do offer community service. You have to attend drug awareness programs and things of that nature. Haven't seen a lot of that, but those are some of the restorative justice program that they offer for the youth. A lot of people are unaware cannabis possessions in cars. Wow, consuming cannabis in cars are still the same as illegal. Transporting cannabis, even at a legal amount, can still get you in trouble. You have to remember, you have to keep cannabis in the trunk of your car. Keep it in an odorless-proof, child-proof, and tamper-proof package. Everybody think, well, it's legal. I don't have to put in the bag. Yeah, it is legal, but they have very strict guidelines when it comes to, possession of it. Huh? So you have to be careful. It can result in a DUI. And if you already know DUI, it's already hard to get off your record. But how to protect your rights? Hold on a second. This computer, don't stop. Okay. Keep cannabis insecure. Like I said, all this, no Ziploc bags, no medicine bottles, no nothing. And keep it in the trunk, not in the passenger seat, not in the glove compartment. I think it froze up. Okay. One of my biggest topics is cannabis and housing. A lot of people don't understand if you get caught or if your landlord doesn't approve smoking on their premises, they still, by law, have the right to actually leave. The people on Section 8 vouchers, just had a young man the other day who was getting evicted from his property because his grandson was over and he was smoking weed and somebody complained and the young man got evicted and he was on the Section 8 voucher. So you lose your voucher and you lose your housing all because of somebody else. And that's really hurtful to know. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. You can't go to grandma's house and smoke a joint and think everything is fine. And you're jeopardizing her whole situation. As we already know, cannabis in the workplace, most employers still have drug-free workplace, meaning that it's not legal, not required. I don't care if you got a condition or not. Just say no drugs, it's no drugs. Hold on. Here's there was something else about that one I wanted to share. Yeah, you got to be real careful, especially in the workplace, because if your employer requests for you to have a test done, or if your employer see that you're not performing at your best, and assuming that you indulge, you could have indulged over the weekend. But when you come to work and they see something funny or they smell something on you, and they have the right to inquire and try to, write you up for it. And I'm doing the best I can, guys. I have a very bad cold, and I'm going to work through this. So as long as you can legalize, consume cannabis in the state, you can also use cannabis out of the workplace at all. Okay, let's see this. See if this will work. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. As we already know, cannabis is still considered a controlled substance, Schedule 1 drug under the federal law. I mean, it's very important to remember that it's still illegal federally, even though the state okays it. It's still illegal in certain aspects. But if you're an immigrant, we strongly teach people, if you're an immigrant, please don't go to dispensaries. Don't try to open the dispensaries. Don't get involved in it at all, because if ICE comes, once your information is in the system, it makes it easier for them to locate you and find you. So if you're an immigrant, please, under no circumstances, buy cannabis, grow cannabis, or don't get caught up. Because if you do, you have a chance of being deported. Let's see. If you're not a permanent resident, do not reveal your identity that you use cannabis to any government official. So that's what that means.
What was that last part again, Shannon? Don't tell them who was.
Yeah, you don't tell any government agency, any government official, no one. Because if you do, then they give them the right to, they can go ahead and start the process to get you deported. Because if you're an immigrant and you can't have any ties to cannabis at all, none. Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah.
I teach people and tell people your magic words, and it's just three little statements that you say to the police if you stop, because so many of our people are getting stopped. Oh, I smell marijuana. Smelling marijuana is not a justifiable reason for the police to stop people. They will anyway. And the magic words are real simple. Just, am I free to go? Don't add nothing else. Just, straightforward, naturally, I do not consent to any search, because if they smell it, they're going to want to search it and think it's more within the car, which would give you a violation, because again, can't be in the front, can't be in the glove compartment, can't be nowhere in the front seat, nowhere in the front of the car at all. It can't even be behind the little pouch behind the seats. It has to be in the trunk, far away, untouchable. And next set of words, you can say, I will not talk, and I want my lawyer. That's it. Those are the magic words for the law enforcement. Hold on a second. This thing is just bouncing all around, but hold on. Let me go back here. Don't do that. Let me skip something. Hold on. Place.
Say, excuse me, I have a real short memory, so while it's on my mind, when you kept saying nowhere near in the front of your car or on the back, in the back, on the seat where the back where you put paperwork at.
Right.
But I heard everything but the back, like the back seat. I understand the trunk part, but even if it's in the back seat area.
They can't even be in the back seat area. No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Because you kept saying the car seat, the front car.
Right, can't be nowhere in the front of the car, can't be in the glove compartment, can't be, had the little pouches behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat. It can't be there. It has to be all the way in the back of the car and the trunk.
Okay.
But if you
Go ahead.
This would help too, sideways if you wrote stuff down, that'll help you.
Yeah.
But what if you ain't got no trunk, so you got an SUV?
Well, I guess in the back compartment of the SUV, it just can't be reachable.
Okay, gotcha. That's the
key word. It can't be reachable at all.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. We won't interrupt you no more.
You're fine. Just come here. I want people to understand what public consumption means. Consumption on private property. Even if you rent from a landlord and the landlord said you can't smoke inside the house. Okay, well, some landlords will let you go back in the backyard or something like that. Now that's feasible. Police won't too much bother you smoke in the back of the house. But private property, please be very careful because your landlord puts in the lease that there's no consumption any type. And driving, smoking weed is just like having a DUI. There's zero tolerance policies for work. Even if you're homegrown, say if you're a medical patient can grow up to 5 plants. The plants can be no taller than 12 feet high. But again, if your landlord say no, even if you're a medical patient, you still can't grow that plant on their property. And
well, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How long do you have from the point of buying the cannabis to get into your house? How long do you have?
Oh no, you have all the time in the world. It's just if you get stopped, they can't. They're not supposed to be able to smell it. If you have a child in the car, you got to be definitely child-proof, and it's got to be put in the back. If they stop you and it's in the front, so you just came out of the dispensary and you just put it on the front because you didn't take it to the back yet, then that's a violation on you.
So let's say that there's no length of time. If you go shopping, long as it's in the trunk, you okay.
Yeah, you can keep it in there all day, as long as it's in the back and you can't reach it. Anything else? Any other questions?
I have a question. Were you through, Sharon, or you want to go into questions now?
Hold on. Let me see. Let me just check one more thing to make sure.
Okay.
Let me see. I want to make sure I did everything. Seems like okay, I did that one. Yeah, pretty much so covered. The very, very important ones. Let's see what this is. Oh, let's look for her. Yeah. Yep, I'm fine. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than welcome to answer them.
All right, y'all, let's start.
I'm rolling. So can I ask you, you said that it's still illegal on the federal level.
Correct.
So have you heard or known of any federal people coming out to, for these little small amounts of cannabis?
No, and they're really working on it. Just happy to be speaking. It's going to be they're probably going to get on board soon because of the money that's involved. It's just going to be a longer process right now. State is fine, but federal, they got to move things around and do a lot of jumping through hoops and loops. So I myself think pretty soon it will be federally regulated, and just have to be patient. But right now, you have to remember the guidelines, because it's very harmful. Because if you have if you have a felony or something like that and you try to apply for student loans and stuff like that, you can't get them because the drugs is still not legal. But once it becomes legal, those people who have those issues should be cleared to go and finish school and get involved in things that they wouldn't able to do at first. So it holds a lot of power. And that's why I really think it should be federally regulated. And I'm sure it's coming, but right now, the laws are real strict, so we have to be very careful.
Okay, can you go over what amount again? So,
of course.
So if you purchase it, say at
dispensaries,
right? How much money can a person that live in Illinois spend? How much can they buy?
But it's not gonna be based on that part. But let me say something. If you can wait, let me find the screen. You can purchase. Say if you go to the store, you purchase edibles and flour. As long as they're not, hold on. As long as they're not more than the 30 grams legal possession amount, you're fine. If you get an edible and a flour, and it's 1 gram over the 30 that's allowed. Yeah, it's 30 grams of flour and 50 milligrams of THC, which is in infused products, and 5 grams of cannabis concentrate. But if you get a combination of those, you just can't go over.
So do the people at the store know that?
Of course they do. They have to.
So would they let me buy over?
I would say they probably would know, but they know they can't.
Let me ask Professor Jay, would they let me buy over? Can you buy over, or do they just like,
they ain't gonna let you buy. They got limits.
Right, they do. They have limits, and everything that they, every point of sale is documented. Trust me.
So going there want to buy with the gummies and weed to smoke, you can only get 30 something, right?
You can't go over that possession limit, and they know that. If you say, well, give me 3 bags of this and 2 bags of it, they'll be like, no, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Look, somebody else get
because 30 grams is a lot.
Yes, it is.
So can you go to a variety of stores in one day?
No, you cannot. Every time your ID is scanned, it's scanned at every dispensary you go to. And the state looks at it and they flag it. So you can't go to multi-dispensaries.
Man, I wonder if anybody tried that.
Right.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
So another question. You said something about odorless. Is it sold in odorless packages?
Yes.
I guess I need to go investigate.
And I tell people.
No, Mark, you do not.
I don't need to investigate. Okay.
No, you need to invest in some packaging. You need to. I tell people, don't think about it's dispensaries. There's other ancillaries they can get into. Packaging would be one of them because everything has to be child-proof and odor-proof. You know what I mean?
Open me a packaging business.
Yes, I would strongly suggest that.
There you go. What's the question?
They sell the packages at the gas station.
They sell what?
Packages.
What do you mean?
Shut up.
The odorless packages.
You can buy
at the gas station.
Mm-hmm. When you go to the dispensary, they give you a big one. So that's what the people, once you get it, you put it in there and you keep it forever. But they sell the little cheap ones at the gas station.
So you can be in the car and have it odorless.
But that's how they give it to you now anyway. In the package. Only the cheap stuff comes in Ziploc bag.
Oh.
So Jay, how can you get your smell off for you? How can you get your smell off for you once you take a hit? It's me. Oh, they
ride with the windows down.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know the answer to that one.
Sharon, I want to ask the question.
Sure.
Okay, I heard you say that it can be compared as a DUI. So do they do a sobriety test if you have marijuana?
They're working on a blood test But who wants to okay a blood test out on the streets if you get stopped?
Okay.
So
Have you ever known someone been charged with a DUI under the influence of marijuana?
No, not I personally.
I do. Yeah, I think so.
yeah, because they got out, the police stopped them and they say, I smell weed, and the person said, yeah, because I've been smoking it. It's legal, right?
Right, and see, yeah, you can't do it like that. If you're a medical patient, I'm sorry, I need to piggyback off of something I said earlier. If you're a medical patient, you're allowed to possess 2.5 ounces of cannabis. You only can go every 14 days. But that's for medical patients. Regular patients.
I don't know what that means. You mean they can walk around with it in their pocket?
No, they don't get to walk around with it. But they have to possess and carry their medical card. They have a card, their medical card.
I understand what
Do
you
they give you the right to carry this stuff around with you? If you got the car.
Yes.
You can't.
Yes, because if you're an epilepsy patient and you have an episode, you can be able to pull your weed out, smoke your weed, because that's a medical issue.
Anywhere?
Huh?
Anywhere?
Yeah, they can smoke it. You can't smoke it in the car. You have to stand outside the car and stuff, because that's a medical issue. So that's different.
Even on the job?
If the job is most jobs are not going to okay it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because of the strict laws and their policies. So most jobs probably won't. But I mean, if you're a medical patient, you go outside or let them know you're a medical patient, and they, probably say go downstairs and take your hit or whatever. I don't know. But everybody has their own rules and regulations.
Okay. Sharon, I have one more question.
Sure.
What are some of the common things that people get caught up, arrested for marijuana? Some of the common things.
The common things is rolling down your window when the police pull you over and the smoke come out the car and you argue with the police. I mean, it's, and the first thing people say is it's legal. It is legal to a certain extent, but that's one of the biggest ones. And that's what's happening with our younger people. It's legal. You can roll down your window in front of the cops. And one person pulled out a joint and spoke in front of a police officer. That's an automatic ticket. That's a violation right there. And if you get
what should you do? Sorry.
Huh?
What should you do if you is in the car and then you get pulled over and then the smoke's flying out the window? You saying just shut up? Well, I know you're supposed to shut up, but I'm saying, what can we say to help us?
To be on the safe side, right? I got you. What it would be feasible probably would say is, well, you can't even say you did it before you got in the car because it's coming out the car. Well, I wasn't just smoking, officer.
Well, let me just say this, Sharon. Now, weed is real loud, so you can probably no smoke, but they can smell the odor.
Exactly, and that's what they get most of the people on. Even if the smoke don't come outside the car, when you roll down the window, that's the first thing you're gonna say is smell it. But smelling it is not a justifiable reason for them to, stop. We roll down your car, we smell. That's not a justifiable reason for them to be stopped and harassed.
Well, isn't it? Isn't it a probable cause because if they smell it, they suspect that you're driving under the influence?
Yeah, for them, that's what they would say, yes.
And then they try to get you. They be like, "Do you got weed in the car?"
Right. But if they say those words, I do not consent to a search.
Well, they know that part already.
Right.
Everybody here knows we don't consent.
Right. But do we lie? Do we say yeah, or do we say no?
You plead the fifth.
If you just get pulled over and you smell, he say he come to the cop. He say it smell like weed.
Yeah,
you don't say nothing.
They say I smell weed. I say me too. You been using weed? Me too. Is that you?
That's not funny. They gonna.
That's funny. Is that you?
And you know what? One of the things that you can say is, first of all, just based off of what Sharon has said, is you come to the car. They said I smell weed. You know what, sir? I'm just picking this car up. I'm not sure if what you may smell. And
That's
you
correct,
know,
Vera. I like that.
yeah, I don't know what you may smell. However, am I being what is it? Am I being detained? Yeah, am I being detained?
Free to go?
And am I free to go, sir? Because it's no telling what you could probably smell.
Any search?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking. I want my lawyer. I
like mine better. Is that camera on that you got, officer? If it is, because I want to report that I smell weed too.
I got one more question.
People dying from that. People getting pulled over because they smell like weed, and they trying to be funny, and the white officer don't like that. They should be killing people. So this is real serious because weed is
the main thing you say is, see, look, I don't smell anything, and I don't consent to any searches. Period.
Now you gotta step out.
Wait. With the magic words, you can't add anything to it. You have to say it exactly as is. Am I free to go? That's it. Nothing else before, nothing else after. Now what? You need to say, I do not consent to any search.
Because they have the cameras on now. They have to have the cameras on for every stop.
And if they know, if you say these 3 words just as is without adding anything to them, you know your rights, and they know what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do.
And after you say that, they'll still ask you a question. But I just want to know if you smoke weed. You have to be redundant in your response again. Sir, am I free to go? I don't smell anything. I don't consent to any searches. Because, the days of them stopping people without a camera now is over with.
Yeah. They
got to have them cameras on. So whatever goes on that camera, if you sit there, remember, we learned this in Know Your Rights, Jay. You always don't try to talk your way out of nothing.
Right.
The only word you say is, sir, is your camera on? Because I don't consent to any searches. Am I free to go?
Hey, Mark, you got to realize, too, the camera only comes on. It takes at least 30 seconds for the camera to come on once they cut it on. So your voice might not even be recorded when they first come up to the car. That's another thing, too.
Well, how do you know that? Are you a police?
No, I'm not a police. I'm the crime chaser.
I don't know. Crime chaser, man. You don't know who that is?
No, I don't know.
What's your crime chaser?
Yes, sir. So I know. So once they activate that thing, it take at least 20 to 30 seconds, something like that, for the sound to come on. The video come on, but the sound.
So I would just say this here. Sir, I'm going to wait 15, 20 more seconds for that camera to cut on, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you now. I don't consent to any searches.
I feel like y'all speaking from y'all point of view, not from a...
No, this is
and that's why I asked that.
21-year-old 2-year-old white cop.
You know why?
That's why I asked that. I wouldn't be funny.
Free to go.
That's why I asked him. I wasn't being funny because I don't know him. So if you saying that it takes 20 minutes,
right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking.
Okay. So we know one thing. So you talk about housing share, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in a lease, so a landlord can put in his lease, I don't want weed or any drugs on my smoked on my property.
He can say he don't want any smoking consumptions on his property, correct?
And all Section 8s have that in there?
Oh, God, yes.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so all Section 8 units have in their lease that you can't.
Because Section 8 is federally regulated, so it's an automatic that you cannot have cannabis. Okay. And the sad part is because the medical patients who are using cannabis for medical,
can they smoke it?
No.
So the people in the project that's sick got to go outside.
Or go outside or go somewhere else. Once they say they don't want it on their property or no, they don't agree to it, yeah.
And you know what, Sharon, if you don't mind, and just for the sake of recording so that we can have this, can you kind of give us a recap of the do's and the don'ts as it relate to the discussion that we've had here today? Just like a brief recap. If you pulled over, say these 3 words, say this, say that.
Yeah, I get the magic words. Excuse me. Okay, you have rights. You do not need to be incriminated yourself. One way to do this is stick it to these three phrases. Am I free to go? I do not consent to any search. I will not talk, and I want my lawyer. Those are the three phrases.
Okay, and so that's as it relate to being stopped by a police officer. Now, the other recap, if you don't mind doing that, is about housing. And for people that's listening that may be on Section A with grandchildren or what would you suggest for them?
To tell their grandkids don't come in their house smoking? No, I'm just, hold on. But yeah, pretty much, so that's what it is. But hold on, let me find the housing one first. Okay, cannabis and housing.
So I know one, and while you're searching, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that one of the things that you said is that they need to know what's written for them from the landlord. So if they have permission to smoke marijuana in the house, they need to know that, or if it's in the backyard or what have you, and that they cannot violate that, because if so, they could use their Section 8 voucher or be evicted from their residence if they violate.
Okay. Okay, this is how it goes. If you're on a public, excuse me, if you're on any public housing voucher, federal or not, you cannot use cannabis. CHA said they would take medical. Oh, for the medical patients, they'll take them case by case, but they'll take them case by case, but they're making it hard for people. Hold on, they're taking case by case, and be careful. If you're a renter, check it. One of the biggest things I say, if you're a renter, check your lease, because you probably can't use, and most likely you won't be able to use marijuana. A lot of landlords are putting it in their leases now. Read your lease and understand the risk. Look at the alternative construction methods to reduce the smell. I mean, people used to do back in those days, used to put a towel up under the door and all that kind of stuff. I think they may use gummies or something like that, right? Yeah, you know what? And it'd probably be feasible for them to use gummies and to eliminate the smell and get yourself in deeper danger. Okay. And you say cannabis must be from the dispensary or wherever you get it. You can't buy it from Pookie and Quita. Okay. But it got to be bought from a licensed dispensary. If you got Pookie and Quita package, right, it need to be in the truck too. That's a major violation. So, well, Jay said they sell odorless bags at the gas station. So if you buy an odorless bag at the gas station and buy weed from Cookie, and you put it in the, it has to be in the bag. But once they look at the packaging, they can tell. Well, I don't know what kind of packaging it is, because the packaging they give you at the dispensary has a lot of numbers and all this kind of stuff, so they'll know that it was bought. Everything you buy from the dispensary is scanned. It's attached to your ID. Okay, I got a question about growing, right? Now, growing, and you say you can have how many plants in your house? If you're a medical patient, you can have 5 plants in your house, no taller than 12 feet. And if you're not a medical patient, you are not allowed to grow at all. Get out of here. Control.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm gonna ask, how does all of this relate to airport travel?
Well, as far as airport travel, you can't travel from say you come from Chicago and you go to a state that doesn't have legalized cannabis. You can't transport. You can't transfer from state to state, especially the state is not legalized yet. If you went to a state, Chicago to Vegas, but they don't like it to go over the state. They don't like it from one state to another. You know what I'm saying? But if you go to a state that's legalized, if you go to Vegas, it's legalized in Vegas.
But let me ask you a question. Isn't the airport belong to federal? So even bring it on the airport property.
That's why you're not supposed to bring it up. Look like what's that, Brittany Griner. You're not supposed to transport in airports at all. That's why they have dogs and stuff. What I seen at the airport one time is they had a weed garbage bag, like
if you was going, like leaving Vegas and people was getting one flight going somewhere else, right? When you got on the thing,
Oh, you had to dump it in that bag.
Right, and it wasn't
right.
Right.
Because you can't transport it from state to state.
Right. So yeah. But back to
So are there limits with airports, or is it just it's just kind of not tolerated?
It's not tolerated.
Okay.
If you go from Chicago to Vegas, she take up 30 grams.
No.
You remember record?
Even if you're a medical patient, you can buy. If you're a medical patient, you can buy in Vegas.
30 grams is enough to be charged with intention to sell.
Exactly.
30 grams is a lot.
And that's like a medical patient, you can only go in 14 days, and you only can get so much. Because some people,
yeah, I just recently came from Vegas, and they are very strict when it comes to meat and stuff like that. Like, they don't play that, especially in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
So back to growing, because I have an interest. Right?
Okay.
Right. So if only people can grow,
if legalized, it's licensed craft growers, and right now there are
none of them. Right now, you ain't none of them.
No, I could be sick in a minute. You never know.
You ain't gonna
I was sick, and I had a medical marijuana thing. I could grow 3 plants up to 12 feet.
You could grab 5.
You couldn't with that, did you, David? You couldn't with that.
But remember, if you're a medical patient, you can go 5 plants, 12 feet tall. You can't share it or sell it to anyone.
I can't share it?
Nope.
And the only people that can smoke weed outside is people that have
yeah. If the police stop you, pull in your car, smell weed, you show them your card, had an episode, get a couple of puffs, I'm fine.
Okay, so, but if they're outside, like, just standing on the corner.
No, they can't there's a violation.
Medical people too?
Huh?
If I had an episode on the corner.
You can, no, you gotta keep your car with you 24/7, so if they approach you, you can show it to them, and then there's no problem. But if you're a medical patient and you don't have your card, if they're caught, that's a regular penalty and violation.
Right. So there's no, unless you're medical, there's no public consumption, period.
None.
So for regular people that think they can smoke weed outside in the car, that's not happening.
Nope.
So let's talk about the fines. What is that? So I'm outside, I'm smoking weed, and they pull me over and I ain't got no medical thing. What's gonna happen?
You get hit with $50 ticket for the first one, and if you get caught within 30 days, is $100.
And then after that, you catch me again.
And then after the 30 days, it rolls back over to the $50. So within the 30-day period, you could pay $150. 50 for the first one, 100 for the second one. The next, then it rolls back over.
So really, I could just, as long as I got money, I can smoke weed outside. There's no criminal penalty, right?
So basically, it's a citation. So I was.
I'm not going to jail, right?
I mean, if you find one of those cops that decide they want to take you,
so you're gonna take your time.
I don't know. They'll find something.
No, we're talking about for this though.
Okay, no. The only penalty is the first offense is $50. The next one within the 30-day period is $100. So,
have you know anyone having a court date of what we just talked about a minute ago? I mean, say like you get fined, they take them to jail, and they tell them to appear in court. Well, I know that if you don't come to court, it's a warrant. So
we don't go in the court. It's just
it's a fine citation.
So what she's saying is that are you saying that there's no repeat offender law as far as getting called up again? You can get called up.
Within the 30 days, the 30 days, and then the next 30 days is different. I mean, it's like start all over. So there's no really
over and over and over.
So there's a limit to how many citations they can give me. They can just keep giving me.
Hold on a second. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I can sit there. I mean, I ain't got no money to pay him anyway. Right?
I mean, my point was that even if you get a jerk and he take you to jail, what they do just write you a citation, just let you go.
They can't do what she's saying.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, they're trying to get a way, all the people that's in jail for small cannabis offenses, whatever. So they'll just write you the citation. So, after 38, it just goes over again.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you saying that I can get 10 citations within a 30-day period?
No. You only can get
without
2.
going to jail?
Without going to jail. Yeah, just say, just first and second. Well, I am never thinking nobody going to jail for 10 times, but I see what you're saying.
Well, I want to ask a question too, Sharon. Where is this list of laws or rules or regulations?
Chicago Municipality Violation Code is in the city of Chicago. From the city of Chicago municipality code thing.
I see so many young people out there rolling up weed in front of the police.
I know, and that's the wrong attitude, and that's the wrong thing to do. This is why we preach, and oh my God, I go to colleges, I go churches, I go everywhere. Please, young people, listen. Don't go to grandma's house smoking a weed, get her put out, and have sex for 40 years, you get her kicked out. Then you get mad because the police say something to you because you're standing on the street rolling weed when it's illegal. I mean, you can't do that. It's decriminalized already, so don't put yourself in harm's way. Why would you do that?
I see young people walk down the street rolling up blunts, rolling down the street throwing tobacco out the window.
Oh my gosh!
I see so much. So it's our young people that's not educated about
exactly, and this is why I go into schools and churches and everything to try to teach them. At least know your rights. If you know your rights, hopefully you'll do better.
But Sharon, ask yourself, even as a young person in general, if you come and you share that with me, and I'm a smoker the way I smoke, and you tell me that the only thing that can happen is $50, $100, and
but not for the young people, because if the young people are under 21, theirs is totally different. They have to do community service. They have to attend drug awareness.
That's what I'm asking.
Right. So they have to attend drug awareness, education classes, restorative justice program. They have to get into the restorative justice program and community service. So under 21 is totally different.
Okay. Under 21, that's what I'm getting to. Because they're telling me that I can keep on doing it.
Right.
And there won't be no repercussion. Right. I'm gonna do it to her.
Right. If you're under 21, you have to go through those stages.
So the first time a person under 21 happened, he's not getting the citation. He's getting
no.
He's getting what?
He has to get involved in community service or attend a drug awareness class.
The police station, what happens to him?
Probably to the what you call it? The detention center, probably. Right now.
No, he's not. Audi home is 17 and not under 17. He's not going to Audi home. So if he's going to lock up.
Well, I don't know. This is a good question. Let me see. That's a very good question.
Okay, we got about 8 minutes left, so you could email me that stuff and I'll send it out to you.
Yeah,
So tell us now. We know you've been dealing with getting records expunged, right?
Oh God, yes.
How many people in Illinois have y'all done so far?
We do. Let me do it this way. Every 2 months we do. The CBD allows us to do 50 people, 50 cases. So from January, my next one is October 28th. So 50. I'm just saying this year, 50. January, February, March, 50. That's 1, 2. So what? About 400 or 500 people.
That's it. It's October now. January. That's over.
Yeah. Yeah, we do it every 2 months. Every 2 months.
50 people. That's 1,000 people.
Okay,
so that's how many people we done done.
Y'all done 1,000 people already?
Yes.
If it's 50 people a month.
Yep, 50 people every 2 months.
So how do y'all find these people?
Oh no.
How do we find these people? We put out our flyers. We have a flyer that we put out every 2 months that people know. We do a lot of the work now. We do canvassing.
So what does the flyer say?
The flyer say rap sheet assistance day.
What is the intent? You're looking for what kind? So these people do a lot of outreach. So what are they looking to tell people?
If you have the Cannabis Coalition doesn't just expunge cannabis. We don't just work on cannabis cases. We work on all cases. Every time people see cannabis, and every time I go somewhere and people see cannabis, they think it's just for cannabis cases. No, we handle all cases. If you have cases in other counties, we're connected with partnering attorneys, and we send you.
I understand that we do that too, Sharon.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know, Mark. I'm sorry.
The question was this here. Are people that have previous convictions?
Yes.
Is people still locked up under 30 grams?
Yes.
Still locking people up?
No, they're not still locking them up now. They shouldn't be. And it's just people still there. They're still working on some of the people that's there.
Y'all mission is to do what?
Is to help clear as many people as we can.
Well, okay. But your focus is mainly with cannabis, right?
No.
Okay. All right, because I knew you the cannabis
Cannabis Equity Illinois Coalition.
Okay, right. Okay.
So, okay, my question is this. Mark, and I know we do the same thing by talking and trying to get people to come and get record sponsors or seal. Do y'all do anything different than what we do? Such as, I don't think we don't do arsonist, and what's another one?
They do the same thing we do, right? You know,
so they can't.
The law is the law. The law is
right.
That has nothing to do with it. But okay, so what I want people, what is the main thing you want people to get from today?
To just know and be knowledgeable about what people can and cannot do. Those 3 phrases are so important, and to be considerate of the people that's on Section 8 vouchers and stuff like that. And I'm not anyone can not doing cannabis or whatever, but be considerate of others when you enter into that place, and so they won't get kicked out. If they get kicked out, they can't come there with you.
Okay. Well, Sharon, we want to thank you. If you have some material, just send out. You can send it to me. I'm going to stay on here with the navigators for a few minutes, Sharon, after, so I can do a little other announcements. Okay. So let me share the hand, y'all. Thank you for swimming through the cold or whatever it is you going through.
I know.
Okay, thanks, Sharon.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to.
And I'll send her stuff, y'all. When she sends it to me, I'll email it to y'all. Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Okay. Give me a second. I'm trying to get out your way in a minute.
Vera put out.
You guys have a good evening.
Yeah, you all right, have a great one.
Okay.
All right,
bye-bye. And Mark, I gave you back access to the.
Okay. Look, I just want to say right now, I did not know.
No, we charging you with that. I just have charging you with that. You the list.
When they came in my office, they was 2 guys. They was real sharp. They was, let's hear.
So our first thing should look a little better.
What?
Y'all paid them, you can just pay me to come do that.
Hey, so we should get some overtime.
I agree with you. I don't even stay home. I had to stay home because I said this ain't gonna be good. So this is the thing. The main thing is that what I've learned from today is it got to be in the trunk.
Yep, I didn't know that.
Right.
See, I didn't know that either.
Right, and then you can't go from one spot to the next. There's a max on that, and then regular weed you buy off the street, it don't make it. You might as well keep it in the car because if it's in the trunk, it's still, But she didn't say. I guess it's a citation too, right?
Well, I don't got no room to guess.
Well, we don't do it.
Yeah, so it looks like.
I'll do some more research.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one thing I did know how much you can grow.
Right. Well, only people can grow it is people that's
got a marijuana card.
Marijuana. Yeah.
Right. And it's got to be.
And they can't sell it.
Right.
I was gonna say, didn't she say people with medical cards, they can only grow it for personal use?
Right. And they can't even share it.
They can't even
You can't have 10. You can't have 10 smoke by yourself. That's crazy, man. You just got to smoke by yourself.
Yeah. Oh, no. But you outside.
Hey, Carol, and the road. That's what it's like anyway.
We're going there. So look, all right, okay. So I'm gonna be apologetic. I will do my due diligence. Put out, what amount is legal, where you gotta have it stored. There's citations. If you got it, wherever it is, it's gotta be in the trunk. And when you stop, we already know your rights, which is what I don't look like Martin said. The camera don't come on for 20 seconds. So you take your time, you in the window. Say, hold on,
leave my window up for 20 seconds.
Just say, hold on a second. I'm waiting till your camera come on. I'm waiting for 20 seconds.
Mark, the camera comes on, but the audio don't come on until like 20 seconds.
Right.
I'm gonna do like this. So then wait 1 minute, waiting on that audio. Waiting on the audio. When the audio come on, you can just say, look. I don't consent to any searches. That's the main thing.
And another thing too, if you don't see that red light on, it's not on. So you got to know, recognize. You got to look. You got to pay attention to.
Now imagine you Halloween trying to look at where the red light come on.
Record that red light.
Like the liquor place down there, the donut joint, is the light on?
I'm gonna tell you. This is strange. Today, exact thing happened to a young man today on 87 Halston. Police pulled him over, smelled weed. They pulled him over and they found a gun in his car. They found an extended clip, but he had, it was in the trunk, but he did have a FOID card, but they still took him in.
Right. I think there's something about guns and drugs not being together.
That's what I was gonna ask her. Like if you have like the gun card, doesn't that mean you can't go to the dispensary?
I think that if you got a gun card, you can't have a prescription card.
And you know, you go to dispensaries either, right? No, you can't, because my brother tried to do that. He tried to get a medical card for weed and ended up getting declined because he has a gun card. He has a Porsche.
Right, so there you go.
So you can't mix the two together.
Right. So man, you're either be high or you're gonna be shooting.
We're not supposed to laugh at this part.
So
You can either conceal and carry or smoke and carry. You can't do them both.
You can't do both, right? So look, y'all do the best y'all do with this. I got some flyers. I think y'all already got them. Most of y'all. Well, I'll email y'all some. Won't charge it to your head. Just do your thing. I'm gonna reach out. Martin and Vera. I'm not gonna put on your show. All right. That's not cheating or show her face. Well. I thought she was a white woman. I really did. And I look up and she over here coughing and shit.
Not only coughing, she was eating too.
Eating and coughing. And Jay said she was Googling. What are you doing? Googling.
I said, Jay, we could have did this out there.